Hi, class. Welcome to week 2 in this course, The Introduction to Psychology. Week 2, you'll notice, is a lot about biological psychology and better understanding the structure and function of the brain. So, we are going to get down to some of the science behind it, better understanding the difference between neurons, neurotransmitters, hormones, how they operate and work, and the function of those, how phenomenal neurons are in their power to transmit messages and communication to other systems of the body. We'll better understand how the brain is connected to the central nervous system and how that might impact some different psychological disorders, as well as its connection to our endocrine system. We'll also be exploring the differences between sensations and perceptions and how we take in sensory input and how that can impact, also be related to certain conditions, psychological disorders or mental health conditions we might have, and what goes on with our consciousness during sleep and what occurs really in the brain and in our body during sleep, and a general just understanding of the connection between our brain and body. It's pretty exciting stuff. And we will also look at some of the most exciting recent neuroscience research, some of the hot topics related in the field. So, getting a snapshot basically of what someone in these lines of work in this field might be also doing for their career. So, for example, a neuroscientist or a neuropsychologist are common also professions in this line of work. So, for this week, your knowledge path work is due by Wednesday night at midnight again, and your original discussion post that you're posting is due by Wednesday night at midnight. To get credit on the first couple sections of the grading rubric, you must submit your original discussion post by Wednesday night at midnight. You cannot get credit for being late, but you then have until the following Sunday night at midnight again to respond to your peers' posts. And if you take a look at the grading rubric, that's a good almost half of your grade. So don't forget to respond to some of your peers on the discussion board posts. For this week, you're being asked to select out of the list provided a specific, interesting, everyday behavior, a behavior that interests you. And you're going to do a nice job of trying to explore what part or aspects of the brain, what functions of the brain or regions or areas of the brain are influencing that behavior, have a relationship with how that behavior is executed. And I'd like you to explore this biological phenomenon by including some research if you can, or more information in your post about how you know that and where you found that information, if possible. And after exploring that in a little depth, how does that, if at all, change your thoughts and feelings about those everyday behaviors now that you have a better idea of all that goes into it occurring or happening for someone? So again, that's and for some of these discussion posts, you can do a video or you can do it in writing. It will specify if it has to be one or the other. Try to always include research, whether you are doing a video presentation for assignments or discussions, or in writing. It's important to kind of just note where where you derived some of the key information. Please. And then you'll see for your assignment this week that's due Sunday night at midnight. This is to be a video presentation. Everyone must submit a video for this assignment, the hot topics in neuroscience. But please, for the presentation, reference and cite research. It's great if you can have a bit of a PowerPoint presentation to do so, to keep you on track and to make sure you're following all the bullet points in the instructions. But please make note of the instructions there. Also here, we would like for you to choose out of the list provided a recent hot topic in neuroscience that interests you, and you are going to pretend that you are an expert in neuroscience. You're a neuroscientist and you are presenting to high school students who have no idea how the brain and body connection works, and are very new to neurobiology or neuroscience, and you are going to capture their attention by selling and describing in depth information about this hot topic. So, you are going to identify a hot topic in the neuroscience research, why it interests you, and start with a hook or something really bold to grab their attention about how this brain body connection works. Um, and you're going to then go into depth with identifying at least one section, area, part of the brain that influences this activity or hot topic, and definitely include other literature to support these claims that you have. And then different types of research and studies if you can to support that. And then at the end, sort of wrap up with having a really thought-provoking question for the high school students to kind of think about how the brain and body works overall. And that is due Sunday night at midnight. And that's it. So you have the knowledge path this week and the assignment due Wednesday night at midnight, and then Sunday night at midnight this presentation video that will have a voiceover and some slides due Sunday night at midnight. Please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me with any questions that you might have about any of your work or your reading. Again, I can be reached at comorris@baypath.edu. And I'll respond as quickly as I can within 24 hours typically. And if anyone could benefit from a video or phone check-in, I can absolutely be available for that as well. Happy learning and reading and exploring more about neuroscience this week in cognitive psychology and biological psychology. And I will have another video coming your way for next week. All right, take care. Bye.